Hey guys, Aaron CybertronVGC here, and today I'm back with another episode of Road to Ranked, where I climb the online VGC ladder in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet and provide live commentary as I go. In this video, we're going to be trying out a really fun combination of Froslass and one of the new forms of Tauros. Tauros has an ability, Anger Point, which allows its attack stat to get to +6 when it's hit by a critical hit move, and Froslass gets Frost Breath, which is always guaranteed to crit. So the idea is Froslass just crits onto the Tauros, and then Tauros with Assault Vest gets the +6 attack and can deal massive amounts of damage to everything. And so we've actually seen, this strategy used before, but of course now there's a new Tauros form, a bunch of new Tauros forms actually, and it gets access to some pretty cool moves as well. So as always, I'll do a quick breakdown of the team, but if you want to just skip to the battles, check out the timestamps in the description below. Thank you so much as always for watching. If you enjoyed, really mean a lot if you consider liking the video or subscribing to the channel. It really helps me out a ton, and I appreciate you all as always for coming out and watching. So let's talk about this team. First of all, a huge thank you to Dave for building and sharing this team. He's a phenomenal player from Europe and is a multiple-time international championship finalist, so please go check him out. I've linked his Twitter and Twitch down in the description below, as well as a paste, and of course rental is up there if you want to try out the team in-game. Question of the day, with us using Tauros, I want to know what your favorite alternate form Pokemon or regional form Pokemon is down in the comment section below. I think when talking about this team, we really do have to start with the Tauros, and the general idea here, once again, is that you have Anger Point. Tauros has a bunch of different forms in Gen 9, which is pretty cool, and it has different typings based off that, so we're using the Fighting and Water variant here with the Ground Terra typing. Tauros functions very similarly to how old G Tauros kind of worked with Anger Point as well, and so the whole point is, once again, you use Froslass, you get a critical hit with Frost Breath to get yourself to max attack immediately with Anger Point. So you have good coverage between Close Combat, Raging Bull, Aqua Jet, and Earthquake. Raging Bull is its signature attack, it destroys screens, and it also depends on the user's form in terms of type. So since we're using Water Tauros here, it turns into a Water type attack essentially. So really strong offensive option that just deals massive amounts of damage once you get yourself to +6. One other thing to call out here is the Ground Terra typing, which is really valuable because it helps against electric type attacks, which otherwise would be annoying. And as you can see here, Tauros is max speed, so it's really nice with Froslass, where base 110, base 100, you are outspeeding a significant number of Pokemon in the format. You do have to, of course, be careful about opposing speed control like Tailwind or Trick Room, for example. But against those kind of middle speed tier teams that use like Grimmsnarl and they don't really have great speed control, this is actually just a really effective lead duel. And so, yeah. Froslass is really meant for support here. You've got Frost Breath to activate the Tauros, but you also have Icy Wind for speed control, Will-O-Wisp and Taunt, and it's just generally valuable because it can stay around for at least, 1 or 2 hits and really disrupt your opponent. Salamence is the next Pokemon to talk about, and it exists on this team to really help against the grass weakness that Tauros otherwise suffers from, especially with Ground Terra and Water. You can't really get around the grass weakness, so Meowscarada, for example, can be pretty annoying. Salamence is really nice because, yeah, I can, resist those grass type attacks, not flying type attacks, and also have Flying Terra plus dual Wing Beat, so you have massive amounts of damage into those grass type Pokemon like the Meowscarada. It's a clear amulet set with Dragon Dance, and so this thing can also sweep fairly effectively, especially when you go with like Mousehole plus Salamence. You can just go for a Follow Me into a Dragon Dance, and this can deal massive amounts of damage across the board. Mousehold's the next Pokemon. This is a very support-oriented set, so if you're looking for a good support EV spread, like there's just a ton of HP and bulk here, a little bit of speed, and the rest really in special defense. So Grass Terra is important to call out here. That's mainly against a Mungus, so that Mungus can't just safely spore into you, which is pretty important. And standard set of Population Bomb, Follow Me, and Protect, but notably the Mousehold here does have Faint, and so of course that nullifies Detect, Protect, and or Quicken Wide Guard. And so that's really valuable when, especially, Tauros has been activated, for example. You lead Froslass Tauros, Froslass goes down, the Mousehold comes in, and you can just Feint and then kind of Raging Bull or Close Combat, Earthquake everything, essentially. So, yeah, it's a pretty fun combination. Finally, you've got Choice Specs Rotom Heat here. This is just designed to maximize damage output. You've got Thunderbolt, Overheat, and Volt Switch. There's not that much bulk, so keep that in mind. This Pokemon won't hang on for very long, but the goal is to often just KO your opponent before they can move. This is really valuable into Golden Go, which is obviously a super common Pokemon right now. Being able to just threaten it with a one-hit KO with Choice Specs Overheat is super nice. And then Garganacl is the final Pokemon here. We featured this a bunch already throughout Scarlet and Violet, but the whole idea is that it's just a defensive beast. Can stay on the field for a really long time through Iron Defense, Recover, and the leftovers. And you've got Grass Terra typing here to help out against some of the weaknesses, such as Water, for example, in this Pokemon. So I've gone with leads such as Froslass and Tauros, or Salamence and Mousehold. I feel like I default towards those the most, but a lot of fun different ways that you can run this team. So let's get started. All right, let's get started. We've got some really interesting things. Okay. The Armor Rouge plus Indeedee combination. Baxcalibur Arcanine. The Meowscarada. And our Dolphin guy. So, I mean, I could go with... it's the Meowscarada that scares me. Yeah, Meowscarada is fairly scary to go up against here. Because like Froslass Tauros otherwise would be incredibly effective here, in my opinion. What's the worst lead? Maybe Meowscarada plus Baxcalibur? The thing is, Salamence is a really good switch in into the Meowscarada, so I might still go with Froslass and Tauros, Salamence in the back, and then... what do I want as the last option? Rotom Heat just seems like good consistent damage. Oh, but I guess I can't really hit Baxcalibur with it. I'll bring Garganacl. Like, I think Terra Grass here is interesting, because then we can wall, like, Palafin, for example. Well, Palafin might have Ice Punch, I suppose, but... between Iron Defense and Recovery, I think it could be a pretty solid late game option. So let's see. We're gonna go with Arcanine and Palafin. Okay, I don't mind that much. I mean, I'm kind of down to just go for Frost Breath here. And Earthquake. Okay, let's try it out. I don't really care about hitting my own Froslass here. Okay, so Arcanine pivots out, sure. Meowscarada coming in to make sense. It's Baxcalibur. And you're just gonna Jet Punch us. It's a Life Orb as well. Okay, interesting. Well, I'll take that. Tauros is now at +6 attack. And we're just gonna get Earthquake off. Okay. Baxcalibur hangs on with the Sliver, but that's honestly okay. I've got Aqua Jet, which is handy against Arcanine, should that come out. Pretty solid turn 1, I'd argue, yeah. I don't mind going to Salamence here, get an Intimidate onto whatever's coming in. Because it totally could be Meowscarada coming in, right? Oh, but I guess if Meowscarada comes in, then I can't really... you know what? Mousehold here would have been perfect in the back. So I should consider that a little bit more. Because if I had Mousehold, I'd just be able to redirect any Flower Tricks away and put myself into a really favorable position. Yeah, so there it is. Honestly, though, it's fine, right? Like, especially with them having Arcanine in the back. Like, can't I just win by going for dual Wing Beat here into Aqua Jet here? Because Aqua Jet will go first. I'm also immune to... oh, they're going to Terra. Okay. Who's Terraing? Meowscarada into what? Grass? Okay, so they're just looking to do more damage. That's fine. Like, Tauros just already exerting so much pressure, right? Okay, they do Protect here. That's fine, though. I feel pretty confident in winning the Salamence plus Garganacl endgame. So I assume they're just going to go for a Flower Trick here, but as long as Dual Wing Beat doesn't miss, it should be good for us. I think maybe Dragon Dance was actually worth considering this position as well. But Tauros has done more than enough. I mean, essentially picked up a knockout and a half. And forced a Protect out of the Baxcalibur. Dual Wing Beat. Perfect. Amazing. That's 2 hits. Yeah, Salamence on this team is so well... like, the team is so well constructed because the Salamence gives you a lot of synergy. Because, like, Meowscarada is just a pretty huge problem for Tauros. And so having Salamence as the Meowscarada answer here is amazing. So they just committed their Terra. I don't think that was necessary either. But I get why they wanted to go for it just to, like, guarantee the knockout. But that puts us into a really favorable spot now. Arcanine comes out. We know you're not Choice Scarf on the Baxcalibur. So I should just outspeed and KO that with a Dragon Claw. And I don't think I even need to Terra here. And this is where Clear Amulet's amazing for us as well. So... yeah, in just one game, we got to show off the Froslass Tauros combination. We got to show off how good Salamence can be as a Meowscarada answer, which is pretty cool. I'm just going to Dragon Claw and Salt Cure here. I don't think we really need to Terra this turn. If I Terra, I get rid of Dragon typing, and that means Arcanine may potentially even do more damage to us, which we don't really want. And they go for the double and get it. That's fine. I mean, what are you going to go for? Will-O-Wisp, presumably? Salamence is just faster, yeah. Even with Will-O-Wisp, I'm pretty sure Dragon Claw still KOs, to be honest. Given how low they are. Oh, it's actually close combat here. Okay. That's pretty interesting. Yeah, that's fine, though. I probably should have gone for Iron Defense here, but in my head, I was like, this game feels pretty over anyway. And that was the worst case, probably, where they got a double Protect off and got a Close Combat off, and I'm still in decent shape. And I think now, since we know you have Close Combat, what I'm going to do, especially knowing that, I mean, yeah, it's not surprising we're faster here with Salamence, but yeah, I can just Dragon Claw, Terra here, get rid of the Rock typing and to go into Grass, and then just recover. And even if they end up like calling this and Flare Blitzing, Salamence should win 1v1 against Arcanine. Okay. Yeah, so I just don't think they really have enough damage for Salamence at this point in the game. I will say, like, I should have considered Ice Shard. I figured we'd survive there thanks to Intimidate, but yeah, that means I lose to an Ice Shard crit, which doesn't feel great. But then it would mean, like, in order for them to win, they would have needed to go for a double protect into an Ice Shard crit. And if I lose to that, the odds are overwhelmingly in my favor. But as always, the question is, could I have played in a way in which, like, I could have prevented all of that? Either way, though, now turning into Grass Terra, we get the recover off. Beautiful. And even if they have extreme speed here with Arcanine, we should be good at this point, I think. Because Salt Cure is still just adding up so much damage. Is there a berry here? Nope. I'm just going to Dragon Claw here. You can't miss with it. And just Body Press. Because I think what's their win condition? It's a Flare Blitz crit anyway, right? Oh, they don't even have to go for extreme speed, though. Okay, cool. Wow, Salamence was awesome in this one. Like, Tauros applied a lot of early pressure. I mean, we just essentially got a free knockout, did like 75% immediately to Baxcalibur. And yeah, like, often Froslass doesn't actually want to stay out on the field after turn 1 because it just, like, doesn't do that much for you. So, like, we got rid of Froslass to get a free switch into Salamence, which was also awesome. So, yeah, that was a pretty fast-paced game, but I think that was really fun. One in which we got to feature Tauros and the Salamence already. I do think, though, yeah, maybe it would have been better for me to bring Mousehold in the back, because I felt like if I had Mousehold in the back, it would have been so easy to just switch it in and then go for redirection to prevent Tauros from getting knocked out by the Meowscarada, and then I can like close combat the Meowscarada slot, for example, for a knockout, and then Tauros can just sweep from there. So yeah, I think back Mousehold is something I should consider a little bit more after playing that one. But yeah, nice start here. Okay, let's get into this next one here. It is the Mousehold team that we featured fairly recently. If you want to watch me try out the team that my opponent's using, check out the video in the description below. Golden Go, Garchomp, Mousehold, Murkrow, Hydreigon, and Annihilape. Now, I regret to inform you that because the Murkrow has Haze, Tauros' effectiveness feels not as good. Which feels sad. Their Mousehold's kind of a problem for me as well. I could use Rotom to get rid of Murkrow. I don't know. I'm actually kind of worried about just Murkrow plus Mousehold as a lead from their end. I guess against that, I could theoretically burn the Mousehold, like Will-O-Wisp a bit. Crazily enough, I don't hate Froslass. Carganackle? Feels so weird to bring. With Salamence Tauros in the back? Rotom it feels too frail in this matchup because it gets one-shot likely by if all the population bombs hit. Hydreigon, Annihilape are both problems. I just don't love Mousehold here. I don't know how I can fully utilize it. But yeah, I think this is kind of tricky because I can't just go with Tauros and Froslass that easily. The other problem is that, like, even if I were to successfully get Tauros Froslass off, like, they have better speed control thanks to Murkrow having Tailwind. So I kind of have to accept that I'm going to be outsped here. Maybe Murkrow Hydreigon. Okay. Well, this has Flash Cannon, so you can Flash Cannon into us. I guess, like, theoretically, what I could do turn 1 is Taunt into Murkrow, switch out into Tauros, and then go for the self-target next turn. That's interesting. I think I'm actually just going to Icy Wind and switch. I don't know. This is kind of a weird spot to be in. The Hydreigon lead is really nice here. My answer against that would have been what? I mean, Froslass Tauros actually would have worked against this specific lead. They're going to Terra? Okay, so Steel Terra here. Which makes sense. It's a good position to go for this. Tauros now, interestingly enough, can, you know, just go for close combat onto that slot, which is cool. Presume Tailwind Flash Cannon here. Oh, they actually taunt. Huh. Well, I wanted to taunt them, so... Okay, but hold on. Now this is interesting. I can actually go for the Frost Breath play next turn. KO Murkrow, right? Ah, they went for Dark Pulse. I think my question here is, do you commit a Draco Meteor this turn? They do kind of need a Tailwind here, right? Okay, if you get down to -2, though, it's not that bad for me. I am down a Frost Breath here. I kind of expect them to Draco Meteor me, but even if they do, it's not the end of the world. And I'm going to go for Raging Bull onto Murkrow. Okay! We'll take that. Oh, are they just going to Foul Play me? Wait, but shouldn't I outspeed them? They didn't Tailwind. Yeah, you're at -... Oh, wait, I missed, though. Okay, good. We're still faster. I was like... Oh, yes! No way. Okay. That was amazing for a couple of reasons. They didn't even get a Tailwind up. Which means Froslass Icy Wind speed control is kind of nuts right now. So the Hydreigon comes back out. I can just Icy Wind here. Wait, I have Taunt. Neutral Speed. Your choice, Scarf. I would guess Aqua Jet just KOs, but I guess I'm not 100% sure on that. Like, I'm down to just Icy Wind here, honestly, and just Aqua Jet into Annihilate. Okay, +6 Aqua Jet. Would have liked it to do a little bit more, but they're actually going to Final Gambit. I don't think that KOs us. Nice. And if they end up Dark Pulsing here, I mean, Tauros is looking so fine going into the next turn. Okay. Tailwind. That's smart. But you don't have Protect on Hydreigon, so I get a +6 Aqua Jet into that slot next turn, which should just KO. Was there anything with priority in the back? Scarchomp. Oh, that's the perfect Pokemon for us to run into, no? Because I can Icy Wind here, and just... is there any value in Terraing? I don't think so. I guess I could Terra Froslass low-key, but... I mean, we're so far ahead right now. I think it's fine to just Icy Wind and Aqua Jet into Hydreigon. This Hydreigon doesn't have Protect. Oh, Tauros, let's go. You one-shots Murkrow, 75% onto Annihilate. Annihilate KOs itself, and then KOs Hydreigon here as well. Oh my goodness. And they just Earthquake, that's fine. Yeah, I mean, we have Salamence and a Grass Garganacl in the back. I think the big turn was them just switching out the Hydreigon. That was huge for me. And also just not setting up Tailwind with Murkrow. I was very surprised about that. Yeah, they're Clear Amulet, so they don't actually get the stat drops, but that's fine. Just go into this. Okay. I don't mind switching out into Salamence here. Terra. And I think Body Pressure just KO here. There's no way Garchomp can 3v1 this position. Tauros was so good, though. Oh my gosh, I'm so happy about his performance. Yep, so there's Clear Amulet, but that's fine. Like, you're not going to beat Grass Garganacl in this endgame. Yeah, the main thing about Murkrow is I just didn't want to go Tauros Froslass immediately because of the fear of Haze. Like, it would feel really bad to get set up just to get Haze, because it's like all of our work essentially gets negated, which doesn't feel great. Yeah, there's Earthquake. Cool. Yeah, and with the Grass Terra here, there's just no way you're ever dealing enough damage, even with Swords Dances or crits, for example. Body Press doesn't actually KO. That's fine. We'll just go for Dragon Claw. I mean, their play right now is to crit with Rock Slide infinitely, so to play slightly more optimally, it's always better to protect here. And Body Press again. Yeah, but we were so far ahead here, right? Like, we should have that wrapped up. But that is what the Tauros Froslass combination can do. I know we got it off in that first game, but man, was it amazing in this one. So I'm happy to already, like, the fact we got it in back-to-back games already makes me really happy, especially because in this one, like, I didn't know if I could actually very comfortably set it up, but, you know, that's the thing. Like, you don't always have to lead with it. If you can just find a position to bring it out and get it going, this thing can be so good. So, yeah, that was honestly so satisfying. All right, what do we got here? Bronzong, Sylveon, Rotom, Garchomp, Tyranitar, Arcanine. Those are all familiar faces. I know most of those. Or I should say all of those, really. So Bronzong's interesting here because their team isn't really Trick Room oriented. I feel like we should be probably bringing Garganacl here. I mean, how do I feel about Froslass Tauros immediately in this one? I don't think it's that bad. Because, like, Tauros outspeeds the majority of their team. And I could always Icy Wind for speed drops as well. It's mainly Bronzong I'm worried about. I don't know, like, I could totally just go with these two with Rotom and Salamence. All of the Pokemon are decent here, so it's really a matter of figuring out what the best ones are. I don't know. Okay, let's think about it from, like, Lead's perspective. What are the things that scare me the most? It's probably Bronzong and Garchomp. I don't really know what my solution to that really would be anyway. I do feel like Garganacl is solid here. They have so many physical attackers. I feel like I need Salamence. Salamence or Rotom? Okay. I think the flip here, the debate in the end was Rotom versus Garganacl. Both are pretty good. But I'm going to go with Garganacl here, mainly because, like, their team index is fairly heavily on physical Pokemon. I think Salt Cure is also just a really good move into a lot of their Pokemon. So, that's the logic here. Maybe Bronzong Rotom. Okay. Assuming it, I mean, it should be Levit. I do have Taunt here as well, huh? Like, I'm worried about Trick Room. I'm also worried about this Thunderbolting or Will-O-Wisping into me. I could turn into Ground, which gets rid of the electric weakness. Well, maybe they just burn me. I have the Frost Breath combo here. It's just like, I'm thinking Frost Breath, Terra, and then Close Combat into Bronzong. Even if Rotom burns me, it's not the end of the world, because, like, it's +6 attack, and then I'm burned. So I'm still doing, like, net more damage than I normally would be, right? And if they go for, like, a Thunderbolt, then they're going to be in a ton of trouble. Oh my god. And they Thunderbolted too! We literally, I think, would have won this on turn 1 if that hit. Oh. And they Trick Room. This is one of the downsides of this strategy. But you know what? I can't even be mad about that. Like, all you can do when stuff like that happens is look back and be like, okay, how would the turn have played out if I didn't get very unlucky? And I would be in such a commanding position, because essentially I'd be going into turn 2 with the boosted Tauros at +6. Bronzong would have gone down to 1 hit, and then I can just Icy Wind and, like, KO everything, essentially. That is really unfortunate, but let's not give up. Like, I think this is still totally winnable. You just gotta laugh. Laugh at stuff like that, you know? I'm gonna Taunt here. You're gonna want to maybe Hydro Pump, switch into Salamence. Oh, that's just so sad, because it's like the swing, like, of... It would have denied them Trick Room, and I would have been at +6, and I would have just had Icy Wind. Oh, that's funny. Okay, the Iron Defense, yep. Hydro Pump into Tauros. Yeah, I mean, this is just so hard to come back from. Like, I went all in on turn 1. It's a 90% chance to work out. And they even went for the Thunderbolt rather than the Will-O-Wisp. But, you know, that's Pokemon for you sometimes. That's just how it's going to happen. They're going to go to Body Press Froslass now, likely. I just don't really even have a good switch in here, truthfully. Yeah, this is a really bad spot. I guess I can Will-O-Wisp. Dragon Dance for an attack boost. Oh, they actually Body Press Mens. Okay, so they're probably doubling up into it. Could have considered protecting, but they actually split their damage. Okay. I went for Dragon Dance because the logic is essentially right now, like, I'm not going to do that much damage with Dragon Claw here anyway, but if I can get out of Trick Room, maybe we can pull something off. But this Bronzong in itself is now just hard to deal with as well. Man, that is so sad. Okay. 2 turns of Trick Room left. I could see Body Press coming off here. Maybe they Thunderbolt again. Could see them getting a little bit scared now and like, trying to target Salamence down. The problem now is, like, even if I were to get Froslass and Tauros activated in this endgame, it's not that easy. Alright, I'll switch into Tauros here. I'm actually just going to Dragon Claw here, because, like, I think the expectation is for me to protect, and if they actually end up trying to read into the protect and I get the Dragon Claw, it's huge. The other play for them is to just double up into a Salamence slot right now, Body Press and Thunderbolt. Okay, Body Press does pretty minimal damage there. They Thunderbolt. Okay, this is doable. This is doable. I think I'm not giving up now. It's good damage from Dragon Claw as well. I just, by not bringing Rotom, my Bronzong answer is just fairly suspect, I would say. Okay. Last turn of Taunt, right? And last turn of Trick Room. So, it makes sense for them to just Hydro Pump into this slot, maybe Body Press. Like, they might want to target Salamence here. Man, I don't hate going into... No, I mean, they're probably going to Hydro Pump. I can't really get around that, right? I might just give up Froslass and protect here. Because with Garganacl, like, I can at least Iron Defense, Body Press, Salt Cure, and recover. Like, we have more sustain than Bronzong. So this is actually doable, I think, despite the tremendously sad turn 1. This would be a crazy comeback. I'd be so happy. But either way, the fact that we haven't just, like, auto-lost yet at least makes me feel a bit better. Body Press. If they double up into this slot, by the way, then the next turn I can just taunt Bronzong, Dragon Claw, Rotom. Okay, this is what I was hoping to do. Like, play in a fairly non-traditional and aggressive way with Salamence to really confuse them. And so far, it's actually working out. Okay. This is doable. Not the path I expected to take here, but we got to do something. So, I'm going to taunt again. They probably will not fall to it, but that's fine. I cannot let Trick Room go up again. Rotom switches. Okay. Into Sylveon. Good switch. I could have considered dual Wing Beat there, but I'm really going to go for that? Probably not. Bronzong goes for a Protect as well. So it's Protect, Iron Defense, Body Press, Trick Room. That makes sense. Man, if I actually read into that and went for dual Wing Beat on a Sylveon, that would have been super sick, but... Also confirms Bronzong had Protect. In my head, I was like, maybe you're not running Protect, so a taunt here would just put you in a pretty weird spot. I have Garganacl in the back. Don't think 2 dual Wing Beats KO Sylveon unless I'm getting a crit. This is where things get interesting. Because is Bronzong going to go for Trick Room again? Because what I could do now is actually switch Tauros in and sell Frost Breath. I'm going to go for it. Because I don't think the dual Wing Beat KO Sylveon here. And I think now that they might be worried about Taunt, they might not click Trick Room. There's no way. Okay, I thought I missed, but I also took way too much damage, actually. Yeah, that's just too much. I actually just faint. I really thought we'd survive with the Salt Vest, to be honest. So yeah. I should have thought about how much more damage I would have done there. I mean, what would my other play have been there? Taunt Bronzong and just... And they did Trick Room, wow. Taunt Dual Wing Beat maybe then. But because I already committed my Terra to... Yeah, I mean, that play wasn't great. I honestly really thought we had a chance of surviving the Hyper Voice from Sylveon there, but Frostbite just did way too much to us, and... I mean, it actually is pretty decent offensive attack, so since we turn into ground, yeah. But on turn 1, it would have been worth it, because we would have taken like 60% with it, but KO'd Bronzong. Yeah, I think with Garganacl, I actually still really had an out in this game. Maybe I should have just gone Dual Wing Beat Sylveon, Taunt the Bronzong, they pick up a double KO, but then I get Tauros in, I can Headlong Rush into Sylveon and start Iron Defensing up with Garganacl. Because I think Garganacl was actually an excellent late game option into my opponent's team here. But, yeah, I don't really see a path to victory now. Well, that's a shame. We tried. But, yeah, that turn where I switched in Tauros was probably overly aggressive. The thing is, like, if they, for example, got really scared with Sylveon and protected there, then my play ends up actually being really strong, because then I can just +6 Aqua Jet you subsequently. So, I don't regret making a play like that. We were already fairly behind in that game after, obviously, the disastrous turn 1, but a game like that I look back on, and honestly, I wouldn't really have changed how I played turn 1 or the lead at all. Yeah, it just sucks that we missed. But if we hit that, given that they had Sylveon Rotom, I think Froslass Tauros would have just swept that fairly easily, and then Salamence Garganacl would have been really good for cleanup as well. So, yeah. But sometimes you just gotta laugh off stuff like that, right? You have to realize when you're using a strategy that's relying on a 90% accurate move, you're gonna miss sometimes. That's just how Pokemon is, right? And yeah, I mean, it's been a couple games and we've missed one so far, and so can't really be too upset about that. And in the end, yeah, the decision making was correct there as well. So you just kind of reflect on and be like, okay, I feel like I made the right moves. Yeah, got unlucky, but you know, did the right thing. So that should work out the most of the time for us. No way, we're up against Eric Rios. That's awesome. This man legitimately was, at one point, the best player in the world, and arguably the best player in the world going into the World Championships this last year. He literally had one of the most dominant runs ever in VGC history. He won a regional championship, then won the European International Championship, and then, yeah, like, he just dominated last year. Like, truly just, it was unbelievable. So, I'm excited to go up against him. Grimmsnarl, Garchomp, Arcanine, Rotom, Gholdengo, and Amoonguss. I mean, Eric is so smart. I really don't think I'm going to be able to get him with the Tauros Froslass, but like, I don't know, Tauros Froslass isn't bad here. I'm mainly worried about, there's screen support from Grimmsnarl, but I can actually break through screens with Tauros. With Raging Bull. You know what, kind of down for it. I think Amoonguss is where things get tricky, but I can taunt it. Gholdengo. I need Rotom Heat for Gholdengo. Probably Salamence, but I'm worried about Clear Amulet on the Garchomp. It could be Mousehold instead. I'll still bring Salamence. I think having... Yeah, like... Dragon Dance and... into Dragon Claw and Dual Wing Beat's actually pretty good damage here. I'm just stoked to go up against Eric. Like I said, he's literally... one of, if not, you know, was the best in the world in Sword and Shield through the last couple of months, and, you know, was a heavy favorite to win the World Championships and ended up finishing the top 16 as well, you know? So, to win a regionals, win an internationals, and then get top 16 in the world, like, that's an unbelievable run, so I have so much respect for him. I'll link his Twitter and his Twitch down in the description below. You guys should go check him out. Okay, Amoonguss and Rotom, not an ideal lead for us. Now... I can taunt on turn 1. The problem is, do we think Will-O-Wisp is coming our way? Could be Will-O-Wisp, it could be Thunderbolt. I'm actually thinking taunt switch into Rotom. Basically, like, prevent Amoonguss. Like, it puts Amoonguss in a really tricky spot next turn. The reality is right now, on the Tauros, I think... you're likely going to consider two plays, Thunderbolt or just Will-O-Wisp, right? And Rotom Heat is a switching covers for both of those. I'm not going to just get the Frost Breath combo off in this game that easily, because Amoonguss can just redirect it away. And then with Taunt onto Amoonguss, I pressure that slot with an Overheat next turn. Now what's likely going to happen is Amoonguss is going to switch out. So we can try to, you know, predict the switch in into what's coming in. Interesting, no Rage Powder though. I actually could have gotten the Frost Breath off. Nasty plot as well. Okay, maybe that's actually not too bad though. And Spore. Wow, interesting. I wonder if it's Sash Amoonguss then, because I feel like you'd only really make that play if you're comfortable being Focus Sash. Now Amoonguss is likely going to switch out. Icy Wind and Overheat actually covers for essentially anything you could switch into. So I don't hate it. Ideal case would be, yeah, I would say ideal case would have been Amoonguss staying in, sacrificing itself. Okay, it's Grimmsnarl. That's fine. We get Choice Specs Overheat into that. I am a little bit worried about beating Rotom in the long term, though, especially with it getting a nasty plot off on turn 1. Overheat connects, Choice Specs. KO's Grimmsnarl. That's good. Presumably Hydro Pump into Rotom. A miss would be huge here, as you may imagine. Ah, Thunderbolt. Okay. They don't want to risk the miss. That's smart. I don't mind that, though, honestly, because, like, now you don't really want to bring Amoonguss back out, right? Disabling Cursed Bot. Okay, that's actually a huge deal, because it means now you can't Thunderbolt into Tauros. And they do just bring Amoonguss back out. Huh. Oh, this is very interesting, because, like, you know I have Taunt. Clear Smog on this is definitely a possibility. Thunderbolt being disabled is a huge deal. I honestly could just Frost Breath and Overheat here, but then it would mean I wouldn't enable Tauros. Like, I think Amoonguss protecting here feels really obvious, but if I wanted to cover for it protecting, I could switch Rotom out into Tauros and just sell Frost Breath right now. I kind of want to make the read Amoonguss is not going to protect here. Ah, it does though. Okay. Yeah. I thought like it was... The protect was so obvious, like a capitalize off switching in Tauros, and I was really worried he would read into it, because Eric's a super good player, so I don't think I can just like get away with stuff like that as easily. It's gonna miss Hydro Pump though. That's huge. And he targeted Froslass. Okay. I actually expect Amoonguss to switch out here, to be honest. I could go for the same play. The way he's been playing makes me think Golden goes in the back, honestly. I really want to sell Frost Breath now. I'm going to go for it. Because if this thing is boosted up, it can just one-shot, like, everything. But it just... I feel really bad because I had the opportunity to go for it last turn and try to go on the aggressive. Oh, and Amoonguss stays in now. I got red on back-to-back turns. It's probably getting hit by a Spore. Or Clear Smog. Let's Hydro Pump into that slot, though. Okay. Okay, wait. Clear Smog goes off into a Froslass slot. That's okay. That's okay. Wait a minute. I think we might be okay here. Because now, I get the free switch into Salamence. Oh, but our Salamence is slower than Tauros. But Rotom... I've got +2 Thunderbolts. You're still disabled, though, yeah. So, like, you have to Hydro Pump here. Which shouldn't KO Tauros, so I can just dual Wing Beat Amoonguss and Raging Bull into Rotom. If they go for Rage Powder, that's fine. We'll just KO the Amoonguss, and Rotom is stuck clicking Hydro Pump. Oh, it could be a defensive Amoonguss Terra, too. I didn't think about that. Either way, this has been a really fun game. I feel like I actually had a decent early lead, though, and so I feel a little bad for not being able to, like, fully go over the finish line with it. Okay. I'm just gonna get Raging Bull off. Just a one beat. I mean, I don't think Hydro Pump KOs the Tauros, given the damage output from earlier. Okay. Let's see. Oh, it does? Wow. That felt like a damage roll. Okay, I probably lose after that then. Oh, that was so close. It's actually still doable. If their last one's Golden Go, for example, like I think Rotom, Heat, plus Salamence could pull something off here. I just really didn't think that would KO. It was really close. It is Golden Go. Yeah. So one debate here, does Golden Go protect? Because I think their best play is maybe protect Golden Go and then Hydro Pump into Rotom. We haven't seen a Life Orb. Because I can just Dragon Claw and Specs T-Bolt into Rotom. The alternative would be Overheat Golden Go, Dragon Dance Salamence, and then Dragon Claw Rotom twice for the win. Are they Specs? I'm gonna go for the Dragon Dance Overheat play. Oh, it's probably defensive Golden Go Terra. Yeah. Yeah, nicely done. Oh, it's Fairy too! Or sorry, Fire too. That's really cool. That's really cool. Yeah, that's an excellent defensive Terra. Not much I could have done to get around that at this point in the game, I feel like. If I went Thunderbolt Dragon Claw, that may have been enough, honestly. It depends on if it would have KO'd Rotom, like if Rotom is Citrused or not, for example. I guess theoretically Salamence could still win this as well. Especially because they miss Hydro Pump onto Rotom. Yeah, I mean, we've been pretty lucky with the Rotom dodges. For sure. I don't want to Terra here. The question here is, does Golden Go protect, right? I'm gonna read into it protecting. Okay, okay. Man, this game is crazy. Dragon Claw. Yeah, it was Citrus Berry, that's what I thought. But now you just target Salamence, right? You don't really need to respect the Rotom as much. So I probably still lose this. Unless I crit Overheat. Because Thunderbolt should be a 2-hit KO onto Salamence, presumably. Yeah, correct target. Is there any out here? I have 2 Overheat crit chances. I haven't even Terra'd in this game, but I never felt like I had a good chance to Terra, which is what feels bad. So I can Dragon Claw the Golden Go. Yeah, I didn't consider Fire Terra on Golden Go. Specs T-Bolt would have won me the game here, but I also got pretty lucky with the dodges. This doesn't even do anything for me. Okay, I'm gonna Dragon Claw Golden Go. And we need to crit 1 of 2 Overheats on Rotom. This was a really close game. Yeah, I wonder if Tauros had any chance of surviving that second Hydro Pump. Okay, no crit here. Need one next turn. Thunderbolt into Salamence. But yeah, we were only lucky enough to get to this point because of the misses earlier. It's just a little frustrating because I had like the Amoonguss pinned down and then like back-to-back turns I got outplayed, right? He went for the correct play both times, the Protect and then into just the Clear Smog. Although I guess he didn't get the Clear Smog onto the Tauros switch in. Oh, what a close game though. No shame in losing that. Oh, but he missed! What? Wait, is there any chance Overheat KOs? I didn't even think about the fact he could still miss right now. I only have 2 PP left. And I'm... Oh my gosh. Yeah, I mean, he missed so many Hydro Pumps in that game. He deserves to win that one. Yeah, the main thing I'm frustrated about was having a somewhat early lead, and then like I went aggressive trying to knock out the Amoonguss, figuring he wouldn't let me get Tauros in for free. But if I had actually just switched in Tauros that turn, I would have been in really good shape. And then the following turn when the Amoonguss just stayed in, I could have picked up the KO onto it. Then I would have had Rotom plus Salamence in the end game. But yeah, it was mainly nasty plot from Rotom. I didn't really consider. That was honestly such a fun game though, so I really like, yeah, I'm totally okay with the game like that. And yeah, like I said, Eric's literally one of, if not, you know, the best in the world, and so he's always in contention for that. And that was a really fun game. Yeah, there's the back-to-back turns with Amoonguss that felt really bad because I was reading he'd be more aggressive and then called the prediction incorrectly. And it's tough because against Amoonguss, like, maybe I could have just taunted it. I would have always covered my bases. Taunt switch into Tauros, maybe? I gotta think about it a bit more, but that was a really fun one, so no complaints here. I think the play in that endgame, by the way, is I had Electric Terra Rotom. I never had a good Terra in that game. Like, I just didn't Terra, right? And I didn't find a good position for it, but I think Electric Terra Rotom and just lock into Specs Thunderbolt, and then Thunderbolt Dragon Claw double up onto the Rotom slot would have been the play. The question is whether or not Rotom would have survived the Choice Specs Thunderbolt plus the Dragon Claw. But I think a double up onto either slot there would have worked for me. So, yeah. Lots to think about in that endgame. I mean, there was a lot to think about throughout that entire battle. It was just kind of a marathon, but like I said, a really fun one. Alright, I decided to play one last one because I felt very sad about losing that third game. And yeah, I wanted to give a little bit more of a show with Froslass Tauros. So, Pelipper, Scizor, Grimmsnarl, Amoonguss, Goodra, and Rotom. Tauros has to watch about a Rotom primarily here. I'm kind of down for just Froslass Tauros here, honestly. Maybe Mousehold? Darkanackle's not bad here either. I mean, Goodra's just interesting. Salamence, yeah, is really good. I'll just go full offense here, I think. What are we aiming to do here? What are we aiming to do? I want to sell Frost Breath turn 1, ideally. But it's interesting because their team feels like there's actually not that much offense. It's Swords Dance Scizor, one thing to watch out for. Goodra and Drano is just decent. It's not like generally going to pick up one-hit knockouts, but it can stick around the field for a long time. And then Rotom is probably the big one that I have to look out for. Let's see. Grimmsnarl and Goodra. Okay. I don't know, man. I'm kind of down to just Frost Breath. And Earthquake. Like, maybe they set up Reflect, but that's fine. Oh, I can actually break through Reflect. I should have thought about that, actually. Oh, Goodra protects it. Okay. So you're not Assault Vest. That's good to know. Huh. Yeah, I could have broken through Reflect on turn 1, which would have been pretty cool. Well, that's okay. Tauros is enabled now. Like, I think I can just KO Grimmsnarl this... it just would have been so nice to just KO it here on turn 1 and target it with our main attack. I assume it'll survive here. Oh, survives that very comfortably. Jeez. That's fine. With the Assault Vest here, I can just break through your Reflect now. Honestly, Frost Breath on a Goodra is decent damage, so I'm down to just Frost Breath and then Raging Bull onto Grimmsnarl. See if they, like, go for speed control, if they set up another screen here. Yeah, if we get rid of screens and damage the Goodra... Oh, they switch, though. Into what? Pelipper? I mean, that's fine, right? Where's the damage coming from still? Okay. Frost Breath into Goodra, super effective, guaranteed to crit. I always forget that this thing can actually deal damage. Alright, Raging Bull into Pelipper. Reflect wears off. I was like, did it really just survive on 1 HP? But yeah, it's Focus Sash. Okay. Ah, Thunder. Okay. I could have Terra'd there. I just didn't really expect Thunder, honestly. I guess I don't know what I was expecting on that Life Orb Thunder. Terra there would have won me the game immediately, I think. But we're honestly still in fine shape. Yeah, I can just bring out Salamence now. Okay. I guess the odds of them ever going for a water type attack there feel fairly slim. I just honestly didn't consider the option of Thunder. I can just Frost Breath now. And then Dragon Claw. Maybe it would have been better to switch it the other way, because I could see Goodra going out in Grimmsnarl and then Pelipper protecting here. All things considered, I mean, Tauros was still excellent here. I feel like I could have played a lot better, because on turn 1, I could have just gone for the Raging Ball into Grim. Just got a little bit greedy with Earthquake, but yeah, Earthquake was doing so little there anyway, so that's fine. Right now, Froslass is really putting in the work. Like, it did, 40-ish% to the Goodra, enabled our strategy here. Could have been a fun opportunity to Dragon Dance, but the reason I didn't go for that is because I think it's kind of greedy to Dragon Dance and then just get hit by like a Life Orb Draco Meteor. It's not worth it. Grimmsnarl comes back out. I mean, okay, that's okay with me. Especially because Frost Breath always crits, which is awesome. Probably set up Reflect here. I'm going to just Frost Breath and Dual Wing Beat into Goodra. They switch out. Okay, so whatever's coming in is going to take a sizable amount of damage. Could be Scizor. Yeah, I think so. But I have Rotom Heat to deal with this. And they set up Reflect. Okay. One of the other questions is the item on Scizor. Is it Clear Amulet? Okay. The other interesting debate now is, does Scizor go for a Bullet Punch? Because I have Will-O-Wisp, so like I'm down a Will-O-Wisp Scizor here and then protect Salamence this turn, I think. I'm worried about Spirit Break going into the Salamence slot. The obvious play for them, I think, is just Bullet Punch the Froslass and then Spirit Break Salamence. Okay. Yep. But that's fine. It's a free switch and an Rotom Heat now. Spirit Break, yeah. Okay. Bring in Rotom. Huh, I do have Trick. They'll probably set up Light Screen here, right? I don't know. I would switch Scizor out into Goodra if I were them. And set up Light Screen, maybe. I don't think I should lock myself into Overheat. I think Thunderbolt's better here. Alright, I'm going to Thunderbolt Grimmsnarl and Dragon Dance here. If they don't set up Light Screen, Specs T-Bolt should KO, so you have to set up Light Screen in order to survive right now. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, so no Light Screen goes up. Choice Specs Thunderbolt gets the KO. Bullet Punch did under 50% there. I'm just worried about them getting a high roll with Bullet Punch on this next turn. Because my play now is to just Dragon Dance Goodra, Terra, Rotom, Thunderbolt into Scizor. Rain stops, which means even if your Goodra has a water type attack, you do less damage now, which is good. Goodra comes out. I mean, how much damage did I take from that first Bullet Punch? 93? I don't love that. Like, the play to make here is just simply Dragon Claw and Thunderbolt. I think I'm just going to go for it. And if you get a higher roll, so be it, but that first one did 93. We have 98 HP right now. I don't know. The other play to contemplate was Protect Salamence, but I was worried. Man, that almost feels like Metal Coat Scizor or Choice Band, could it be? I don't know. Neither of us have Terra'd yet either, which is interesting. We're going to Terra first. This is where if we had, like, I don't know, Steel Terra Salamence, I feel like we'd have the game locked up. But Flying doesn't really help us much here. Okay, Rotom's out. Looks like it's ready to cook. Okay, Goodra just protects. Nah, Protect Salamence would have won me the game here then, but let's see. This is KO us. 8 HP. Oof, it's close. Yeah, I just really didn't want to lose to Protect Salamence, and then Goodra, like Draco Meteor, one-shots my Rotom. Okay. Those are feints. Bye-bye. 2-on-1. Don't think there's... actually, if it's ground Goodra, I could lose. Because Thunderbolt's doing nothing. Actually, how many turns of Reflector left? Might as well protect here. Scout out for their Terra. And if for some reason they weren't like Clay on Grimmsnarl, we'd be able to Salt Reflect. But they actually don't Terra at all. Okay. So Dragonclaw would have just won there, but I don't mind covering for this. Okay. Muddy Water, that's fine. Yeah, that's what I was worried about with Tauros going for a Terra earlier, but I mean, Muddy Water does such little damage. Doesn't really matter, right? So, just Thunderbolt now. And yeah, they were like Clay. In the end, though, I think what helped is it didn't feel like they had nearly as much offense as we had on our side, so yeah, we were able to deal with it effectively. But yeah, I feel like we had the wide range of Froslass and Tauros in this episode, so I'm really happy to showcase like all of the different scenarios it can be in, right? Like there was that one loss we took where, you know, obviously I just missed and that kind of blew the game wide open for my opponent. That was rough. Against Eric, it was really back and forth. I had some positions to bring it out, but I didn't feel super safe in bringing it out at any point, which made things a little bit scarier as well. And then in this game, like we used it early, Tauros did feint, but it still put in a lot of work. I did misplay a little bit in this game though. This could have been a really dominant sweep if I had just gone for the signature attack on a Grimmsnarl on turn 1, especially as Goodra protected. We would have just KO'd Grimmsnarl, broken through screens. What are they really going to do from that point on, right? So yeah. Either way though, I hope you enjoyed watching this combination. It's a lot of fun to use, and I had a lot of fun trying it out. So thanks so much as always for watching. Leave a like if you enjoy, and I'll see you all soon. All right, peace.